quick and see if we are live on the Facebook and the YouTube. This is a work in progress because this will be the first time that we've done it on both, hopefully successfully. I could be wrong here because we tried last week on both Facebook and YouTube. We had like 400 plus people on, and then we clicked the wrong button and the stream died. So I don't know why it did that, but it did that, and hopefully we're past it this week because I'm really excited to talk to all you guys about what we've got going on here with laundromats and car washes. We've got the preview on YouTube, not yet on Facebook, but we've got a preview that should be super cool of this 5,000 square foot laundromat that I'm currently looking at. They clear a lot of money. We're only doing like $6,000 a month at mine, and I don't know if you guys understand this. If you've watched the Danny D'Angelo series, the old one, you'd see that my laundromat makes $6,000, and he gets super angry at me. Maybe that's the wrong word, but he doesn't like when I say I make $6,000, because as you talk to people, you find out that my $6,000 is like over here. It's like nothing in the grand scheme of things. Like, there are laundromats. I looked at one. It's bringing in $275,000 a month, a month in quarters and cards and bills and all that stuff. It does over $3 million a year in gross revenues. It's in it's in New York. I guess I should say it's in New York, and they just make all this money in the world. So here I am making $72,000 a year gross, not net, on my little laundromat. And these people are kind of getting angry at me, or Danny's getting angry at me, saying, "Why are you putting this content out here? Your laundromat makes nothing." Which, to me, it makes a lot of money. We've got a collection over here. This is all real laundromat money. Yes, I did put a $20 bill up front, but hopefully you can see it. It's a large collections of ones, but we did our last collection. This is 5 days worth of laundromat money and bills. We bought a new changer. It holds up to $200,000 in bills. Granted, they all have to be 20s, but it can hold up to $200,000 worth of bills in it. And we're going to hopefully break the $7,000 mark here soon at the laundromat, because we are constantly now running out of quarters. And my change machine, we only holds about $1,000 per cycle in it. And I have to go down some days on Mondays or Tuesdays after the weekend, dump my quarters in it. Then I go back on Thursdays or Fridays, and I might be out of the laundromat tonight, restocking the machine with more quarters just so we don't run out over the weekend. But now the other change machine's there, and I'm dumping quarters into it. My daughter, my 13-year-old, wanted all the quarters that I had saved up from the laundromat over the course of time. I think it was like $1,500, $2,000 worth of quarters that we counted that are just laying around at my house. And she found no silver in it. We had the last collection. Yeah, hold on a second. Got to moderate the chat. We just did a quarter collection Tuesday with Noah. We filmed it. I can show you guys here in a little bit that video, and we found a quarter. It was super cool. So I see a question from Christ on a Bike. How much money does a laundromat make? And the vending machines, not to be rude. So my policy is I talk about pretty much all the money that I make. I can't really talk about the car wash in too much detail because my business partner is afraid of someone killing him if they find out that we don't do the car washes for free. But that's okay. So vending machines, I'm doing about $2,500 a month, gross, not net. My net position is usually 66% of the gross income. My laundromat does about $6,000 per month, gross, not net. Net's about $2,000, $2,500 a month. Now, these figures exclude depreciation, which is wonderful tax benefits there. It excludes appreciation, which is really nice because I had an extra $30,000 a year onto my appreciation in my laundromat because the cost of everything goes up, including the cost of real estate and machines. It also does not include the fact that I pay $537 per month in a mortgage payment for the location. I own my laundromat. I don't rent it. Of that $537 on my mortgage, about $300 goes towards the pay down of the loan balance. And then on my equipment, I pay $1,600 per month. And of that 1,600, about 1,200 of it goes towards principal curtailment. So that's vending is 2,500. Laundromats $6,000. My rental portfolio does. I think we'll do 45,000 this month, maybe 47 grand this month. About 40% of that's net. We pay $17,000 in mortgage payments a month on that. But then I also get appreciation, depreciation, the tax write-offs. I also get $10,000 a month in principal curtailment. So that's cool because we went and we sold a property last month and we cleared $100,000-ish on it. And I'm looking at selling 2 properties this month. And we should do gross $200,000 on those 2. And then my net off that should be around $100,000. So $2,500 down here in terms of vending machines, $50,000 to $200,000 in real estate. And then my social media, how much money do I make off YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and stuff. And my car washes are in between the laundromat and the real estate. I make more money in real estate than I do everything else. But for some reason, people like watching me do and talk about vending machines. They like watching me talk about quarters and getting large stacks of dollar bills like we have over here on the table. And that's just for attention because when I have money on camera, people tend to listen to me. When I don't have money on camera, they seem to not listen to me near as much. So do you have any questions for me, Noah? Noah's sitting over here. So
have you had an experience when buying a business and determining the seller is lying, grossly inflating, or gross revenue? If so, how do you handle the situation?
Okay. Do I ever run into a situation where I'm looking at something to buy and the seller is lying? Yes. That pretty much happens every single time. Now, there's some sellers that are lying in the sense that they're straight out lying. They're just saying, I make $200,000 a year on this business, car wash, laundromat, whatever, apartment complex. And what it is they're not lying. It's just they have no clue what they're talking about. I run into those guys and they just legitimately can't do the math. They're not very good business owners and they don't know where their money is. Then you, sorry, I guess that's the second point. The first point is some people lie, some people don't. And the problem is when you take over a business or you purchase a business, you've got to complete something called due diligence. Due diligence is where you actually look at all of the facts that they give you. And we do training and coaching on this, like how do you determine whether people are lying in a business takeover? How do you know what's true, what's false? How do you evaluate a business? So that's an easy segue to say, hey, if you want to do training and coaching straight from me, visit investmentjoy.com. But yeah, lying's very common. Misrepresenting facts is even more common because it's just a lot of people don't know where their money's coming and going to. I have a funny story if you guys want to hear it, and you're a captive audience, so you pretty much have to listen to it. But I had this situation where I was looking at a business to buy, and this no joke because one of my friends was there, and I don't know if he wants to pop on the stream, but if the individual was there during the story, you're free to comment and say, yes, this is 100% true, Brandon. I was looking at buying a business here in Central Ohio last October, I think it was. Don't quote me on October, but we looked at it, and we wanted to see inside of a machine. We wanted to see how a payment system worked. And the person that owned this business opened up a payment system, and we said, oh, this is interesting. And he reached in to the payment system and he pulled out, me and the other guy estimate $15,000 cash. And we said, did you know that was there? And he said, I guess I didn't. So here was a business. The operator didn't realize he had $15,000 cash sitting in a payment system. And we said, is this normal for you? And he said, well, sometimes I get busy and I don't check my money. And that's the other side of the story. Do people lie about how much money they make and they overestimate how much money they income? There's also people that do not keep track of anything. And in this one situation, it was $15,000. That is another situation. If you guys watch my one YouTube video, it's my short format content, where I bought the laundromat and there were machines in there with money that one of my guys got into one of the roast snack vendors, and he found $250 on it. And I've had all these people say, oh, that can't be real. It's like, if someone wants to get rid of a business, there's people and situations, they'll just walk away from it. They don't care if there's any money, how much money is in there. They are just tired of it, and they walked away. If you go and you watch my second laundromat video ever done, it's the one after the one where we figure out there's a secret room in the laundromat. It has my main contractor sitting on top of a washer with an SDS drill, one of the big gigantic camera drills with the huge chuck on it, and he's carving out a lock. We open it up. There's $175 in quarters. We ended up destroying quite a bit of that money in there. Like, well, I say quite a bit, like $10, but we destroyed $10 of the 175. Here, the machine had so much money in it that the slide on the top load Speed Queen washer would not work anymore. And we had to break it open just to get in and put a new mechanism in it, but we had to put a new coin drawer in it. So that's the other side of the spectrum with people's businesses. They sometimes get tired and they just don't want to deal with anything anymore. Maybe that's a longer response than you wanted, but that's the other side of it too. People get tired of businesses. They fire sale them. They get rid of them. And to me, there's so much opportunity in the world for people who want to get into a business, whether it's a car wash, whether it's laundromat, whether it's a vending machine, whether it's an apartment rental business, whether it's a trailer park business, whether it's storage locker facilities, whether it's a trailer. Did I say trailer park already? Maybe I already said trailer park. But there's all these different opportunities out there, and you just have to be the kind of person that's out there looking for opportunities and learning to negotiate things. If you're good at negotiation, the world's yours. If you're not good at negotiation, then, you need to learn. That's what I help people do. I help train people and coach people. So that's kind of the answer to your question. Any more questions? I really don't have a format here for today's show. I just don't want, the goal was just to do questions and answers. I've got so many people that have been asking over the past, 2 weeks. Or actually, I guess since last week's stream, they had a bunch of questions about laundromats and car washes and whatnot. Well, I see Wyatt Earpson says car washes are licenses to print money. And I'm very thankful, very blessed guy to have my car washes. My laundromat does pretty well too, but the car washes make more money than my laundromat does. And the thing is, yeah, we do well with our car washes, but you do have to realize that you need to build a system, you need to build a plan to make that business profitable. We've had several people that I've coached. We've got one guy. No, I didn't coach him. He's someone that I have coached. It's his friend. The guy I coached got his car wash with no money down. One of his friends went out, put some money down on a car wash, and he's furious because he has to work. And he talked to the guy that I did coaching and training with, and he said, I can't believe I have to work. And the guy that I coached and trained said, yeah, you have to go in to these businesses and realize that you need to fix things in them. You need to build a system and a plan to mitigate and to lessen your problems. I mean, when we took our car washes over, there was probably 80 hours worth of work per week being performed on our 2 locations. So when we took them over, we had to come up with a plan. How do we address 80 hours? Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to work 80 hours running 2 car washes. Is it good money? Yeah, it'd be a great job. But I don't want to work 80 hours. It's like with my rental business. When coronavirus first hit, I realized that I was spending way too much time managing my portfolio. It's why I slowed down my videos so much in the first half of 2020. Well, the second quarter of 2020. I had to slow down my video production because I went from working 30 hours a week managing my properties to 60 hours a week because I didn't have much of a plan together for what happens if, something really bad happens. So since that time on, from March 2020 through probably, maybe the fourth quarter 2020, I had to place a plan to bring more managers in and people to help. Now I'm at this point, I probably could, with our current management setup, we probably could do 250 to 300 rentals. If Kim's on here, she probably, she might feel that that's a way overstatement. But Kim that works for me, she asked me 2 weeks ago, how can we get more rental properties? How can we get more businesses that we can go in and manage and make more money? So we fixed most of our management problems. We've mitigated most of them. And now we're looking at more. I was looking at more car washes today. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it. I negotiated a guy. I think we've got a successful negotiation. We started at $1.1 million, and I think we're down to $300,000. And there's just so much power in negotiation when you learn the process, you learn how taxes work, you learn how money works. It's kind of a fun game. You go into an investment or a business or property, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't afford $1.1 million. And then you start hacking away at, well, what do we really mean by this? And I got a call coming up after this. It's my coaching call that I'm going to break the deal, the $1.1 million car wash deal down. Just really cool stuff. There's so much opportunity out there, especially now that we're heading potentially into a recession. So many people don't know this, that when you head into a recession, that's like when the game gets kind of reset. The people that thought they were doing well and they were all high and mighty in the economy and the world, that's when those guys get knocked down 2 or 3 pegs. It's like, who are the big people laying off workers? It's Netflix, and I think Google's laying off people. Apple laid off some people. Facebook, Meta laid off some people. Those big tech companies on the West Coast, they're the ones firing people. You look at the last jobs report, who got hired? Construction workers, people in real estate, service workers, more jobs in restaurants. It's like when we go through a recession, there's a lot of opportunity out there, and I'm running into people that are scared to death that we're going to see like an 80% sell off in real estate, sell off in real estate. They're getting worried. So they've called me and asked, Brandon, you want to take this property over? I'll sell it to you for 50% of what it's worth. And so I've got a meeting tomorrow with a private investor in the hope of seeing how much money they want to go through, invest in some of the stuff that's coming up now because of the concern that we're in a recession. I'm not an economist, but it looks like we're headed towards one if we're not already in one now because the negative GDP growth. But it's just this crazy situation, guys, where the economy's getting reset. And to me, if you can hustle and you're willing to work, there's a lot of opportunity out there for you.
You got a super chat from the Car Wash Channel of Northern PA.
The Car Wash Channel of Northern PA gave me a $5 super chat. Cool. And if you are watching on Facebook, we can, I don't know if I can see any, what are they called? They're called stars on Facebook. So there you go. Where do I look for properties? Oh, we got a spam. Someone's spamming on the Facebook. I got to ban them. There we go, ban them. They're trying to get trying to get people to call them off of the chat. That's insane. All right, I want to read this out real quick. How do I deal with what you assume is an uneven amount of work during the month in rentals? First, the month turnover, for example. My assistant handles it. That's an easy question. First of the month, I deal with billing and payments and financial reporting. And then after that, I kind of just start working on deals and more opportunities to buy things. So, any other questions?
Does your wife assist you with your business endeavors?
Absolutely not. She raises my kids, our kids. And that is a job and a career in of itself. My wife's an amazing miracle worker, especially dealing with all 5 of our children. And she does a great job. My wife's absolutely wonderful, but she doesn't really do anything with the business. Our lives are segmented. I bring home the bacon, I make the money, and then I get home and I get to have dinner and I get to play with the kids till they go to bed. So that's kind of a pretty cool thing. So,
how do you negotiate that down so far? I don't get how taxes can reduce it by 75%. I'm assuming they're talking about car wash.
Yeah, it's this $1.1 million deal. It's just I started hacking away. And I can't go into too much information because I don't want to give out the deal. But it's like the individual wants $1.1 million. Like, so what do you want? And they start telling you what they really want. They don't want $1.1 million. They think that, let me put it out, let me restructure it like this. They don't want $1.1 million. What if all they want is the ability to go on a trip out west without having to run their company? Say you do that. Well, I could bring my management team into that company, and I could run the whole company. And if I could run your company for you, would you need $1.1 million for it? No, I don't need $1.1 million for it. I need $1.1 million so I can wash my hands of this company, go out west with my family, and spend the next 6 months touring the Grand Canyon and Yellowstone National Park and all that stuff. Okay. So you don't want $1.1 million. You just think that 1.1 is what you need to be happy. Okay. So what's your taxable liability on 1.1? Well, my CPA said this. Oh, okay. That's not really true. I can get that. I can knock down that tax number a lot. Okay. And then I start actually breaking the deal down, negotiating with the owner of the business. And now we're not really far apart. The deal is like more of a $300,000 deal rather than 1.1. It's just absolutely amazing once you start learning how businesses work, and you can kind of start having that conversation with people. You know, how do you structure a deal? How do you get the financing for it? Because it's not like you have to go with a bank every single case. That's why if you see my banners on my business, it says, take over a business, no money down, no credit involved. It's like, well, that's because I don't use banks. I use private lenders. I call people. I build investments. I build these investment packages, property packages, whatever I'm doing, and then I shop that around. And we find people to give me money. So, any other questions? I see my screen flicker on and off.
So I finally started my first laundromat. It's only 2 washers and 2 dryers. What can I do to grow my seed?
Save all your money and then find other business to get into. Or if you want, like the laundromat business, find a laundromat to take over. If you get on my Discord, we can talk about some of the training that I can do and might be able to help you out a little further with that. But it either takes money to make money, or it takes time. And if you've got some time, you can grow your business with 2 washers and 2 dryers to more. It's just you need to save some money and you need to be looking for opportunities. So, and I see someone recommended wash and fold. I've got a guy doing wash and fold right now who's done enough of it. I think he's intentionally trying to structure it so he can buy his own laundromat now. Started off with nothing, and he's saving enough money. So, any super quick questions?
So how do you find car washes for sale?
I ask people. I don't look online. You can look online for businesses, but I just got this system and this process that I do. I don't rely on internet postings for properties. Can you imagine what life would be like if you had to look online for everything? I'm too much of a guy that likes to go out and talk to people. I've got so many deals from talking to pastors of churches. I know a pastor in my town, and he knows everybody, and I'm friends with him. And every so often I say, hey, Joe, his name's Joe. Joe, you got any deals for me? He said, I heard that farmer so-and-so was looking to sell. Cool. Thanks, Joe. Give you $20 next time I see you. And Joe's been a source of deals. I just have this personal networking system where I know everybody kind of knows me. It's been intentional. Growing up poor, having no rich people in my life, it's not extravagantly easy to do, but it is definitely possible. And I've really only been working on my professional network for probably like 5 or 6 years.
So it says, I'm handicapped. Any ideas for my circumstances? Home business?
Home businesses. Yeah, for home businesses, like it depends on your personal skill set. If you're tech inclined, you can always build websites. You can always code. You can do social media marketing. You can build social media profiles for people. Graphics design, video editing, any of that stuff. If you're creative and you have kind of like a tech personality, you can do stuff. But the problem is I see a lot of people that are in their 20s and 30s. They all have some tech acumen. They're pretty decent at working with a computer or phone. And they're all fighting over for the limited supply of those availabilities. I'm not saying not to do it. Because if you're willing to hustle and put effort into it, there's plenty of work out there for people who want to build, like, let's say, profiles for local businesses. There's all the money in the world in that. There's also a lot of money out there in, I'm sure there's some clickbaity term for it, but connecting people with stuff that they're trying to look for. Like, Noah knows I want a side-by-side. And he found a side-by-side. It was was it a Razor Turbo S?
I think, it was either the Turbo 1000.
It was a Turbo 1000, and that's worth how much retail?
Retail, 20s.
Retail $20,000, and he found it in Lancaster, Ohio for $4,000 because it had a blown transmission. Now, we talked about it. He could give me a new transmission for that Razor for $700 we thought, $700 or $800 on
7
Amazon
to a
or
grand, yeah,
on
right around
eBay.
there.
So $4,000 for the razor, $800 for the transmission. He could potentially, Noah has not left his seat. He's been looking at stuff on a cell phone, knows that I'm looking for this. He could set up the connections for me, charge me $7,500 for the side-by-side, the transmission, and connect me to somebody that could put in the transmission, and then he could collect a $1,000 fee, a $1,500 fee, just for connecting me with those people. That's what wholesalers do. When you wholesale real estate, you're connecting people that have real estate that they have to get rid of, and you're connecting with them with investors that have lots of money, but no, they just don't have the time to go out and find those deals. But you could do that sitting from your house in your basement or whatever, connecting people that are looking for something with people who have to sell it, and you could collect a fee in there. Beyond that, I'm really big on home-based businesses that are like mediocrely involved technical-wise. Like, I'm huge on small engine repair. I've been mentioning small engine repair on streams for probably 2 years. I've had so many people say, I didn't know that carburetors break so easily in the Midwest and the North part of the United States. And I've had people that have listened to me on these streams. They're driving home. They see a broken mower. We had a guy with a DeWalt generator, just other different small engine repair, small engine equipment. They picked, I had somebody here in town, they picked up a DeWalt generator. They took it home just because I said, carbs gum up very quickly in Ohio. He picked it up for free in somebody's yard because he just wanted to throw it away. He went down to AutoZone, put a $6 carburetor in it, screwed it on, put some gas in it. So maybe like he's up to $9 now on this generator. Started it, worked fine, threw it on Facebook Marketplace, sold it the next day for $250. And it's like, holy crap. He listened to what I said. It took him 12 hours, 16 hours to do a deal, and he had $9 out of pocket on it, and he made back $250 for fixing a small engine. Those kinds of jobs, to me, are where you can make a lot of money from your home. And then immediately, I get feedback, I get pushback, and they say, Brandon, I can't do that from my home. I can't do that because I don't have a pickup truck. I can't do that from my home because I don't have transportation. And then my response to that is, well, have them deliver it to your house. I promise you, there are things where people will come to you to get their work done. Brandon, I don't have $9 to my own name to buy a carburetor and gasoline. Have that person pay a $20 non-refundable deposit for small engine repair. Once again, a lot of this stuff, yes, you have to do some work. You have to hustle. You have to put effort into this stuff. But it's less about the fact that you don't have a single dollar to your name, and it's more about you don't know how to work the process mentally, and you haven't thought these things through of how do you make money. And there's always ways to do it. Hey, Rebecca's on. Yay. That's another Ohioan. So, yeah, carburetors don't break. They get gunked up. That's what I mean. But I don't want you to fix the carburetor. I want you to go and unscrew that one and put it off. You could soak them in kerosene, but if you want to do it even cheaper, don't go to AutoZone and get the $6 carburetor. Go and fix them. So there is a very long response to making some money. So you work for, I see a comment on the Facebook, says you work 60 hours full time and you have a family. Is bulk candy machine a good place to start? It can be, but I would go a little bigger than a bulk candy machine because I don't know anybody that does bulk candy that makes more than $50 a month off of a machine. And I'm a bigger fan of honor boxes just because they're the same price as, they're cheaper than bulk candy machines. And it's just easier, I think. But I mean, if that's where you have to start, that's where you have to start. I'm also pretty solid. I'm very, very big. It's very important to me that you also consider side hustles and side businesses beyond vending and stuff like that. I know in my area, gutter cleaning services make between $50 and $150 an hour. And to start off a gutter cleaning business, you need a ladder and a bucket. You need to just work decently hard. And the thing is with gumball vending, yes, one involves a kind of a hot roof. With gumball vending, you might make $50 per machine, but you're going to spend 30 minutes per machine per month restocking it. And it's just based on time leverage and the availability to make money off that location. To me, the upside is like $25 to $50 an hour max. You do a narrow focus landscaping business, you're going to be doing $100 an hour. You do a narrow focus flipping business, you're going to be making $150 an hour. It's just, for me, I want to try to find the first thing that I can get into as quickly as I can to make at least $50 an hour, if not $100 an hour. I was talking to one of my local people that has followed pretty much every single thing I've said. And someone got a hold of me right this morning, and they said, Brandon, I need somebody from your network that does outdoor work. And I said, okay, I'll call one of my people that does physical side hustles. And I said, what do you charge right now per hour? And he said, I need to let you know, before I step out of my vehicle, it's $75. The kid's 18 years old. He's been working since he's 16. So he's 18 years old, and this person wanted to hire him for probably a 6-hour job. So this kid that I know, he's willing to work hard, working to hustle. His current rate's $75 an hour, and he'll probably be up to $100 an hour soon. And he's like he said, he doesn't care what it is, but it's a minimum $75 an hour. So
here's a good one. I have a major high traffic property to put a laundromat. I need some funding for it. Where's the best place to go besides a bank?
Private investors. Get a hold of me on Instagram. Send me no. If you're on Facebook, send me a Facebook DM, because my DMs are open on there. If you're on YouTube, get a hold of me on Instagram and send me some information about your high traffic area. I might be able to connect you, or we might be able to work something out. I've got one of those deals going on right now in Texas, and I think we've got it worked out. It took 2 hours to work out. I'm to this weird point. I've got all these crazy connections in laundromats and car washes and vending machines, and Baka Chan. Yeah, sorry, I don't watch her stuff enough. Rebecca Chan. Okay, you're right. I'm wrong. Terrible. She's gonna fire me. Poor girl lost her vehicle, but she did get a really nice Kia, and I'm very proud of her. So, sorry about that, guys. I'm sorry. So yeah, just get a hold of me on Facebook or Instagram. And we can talk about that. We can try to figure out. At some point, YouTube's going to go back to allowing DMs again. When that happens, can you earn $1 million with Kool-Aid? You keep spamming the chat. The answer is yes. Sure. I could probably coach somebody to $1 million with Kool-Aid. I don't know why not. It's all a mental game. Oh, I didn't mean to delete those. I just wanted to put you in timeout. Oops, sorry.
Here's a good one. On the flip side, what is a business that sounds really great but is actually terrible in reality?
What is a business that sounds great? I hate owner-operator truck drivers. I mean, I don't hate the people. I hate the business. That's what my dad was in. And it is so capital intensive, and unless you can fix your own equipment very, very well, you will lose money almost guaranteed. The problem is, like with owner-operator trucking, and this is something I won't come off of. With owner-operator trucking, what happens is there will be a company that will act as a intermediary between the person with the truck, that you own your truck, and the companies that have loads and material they need transported. And in between those two segments, they'll collect a fee. And what they'll do is they'll connect those two parties together. Sorry, I'm getting all these DMs now. I see them pop on my screen. They'll connect these two people, and the owner-operator trucking company owners, the head guys, will say the small guy that owns the one truck is going to make $2,500 a week, and they base those off of absolute best case scenarios without any maintenance, without any fuel costs. And they show you these. It's like a used car salesman. If you're in the owner-operator trucking business, I'm sorry, guys, I'm going to just absolutely blast you for a while. As the owner of the business, not the big business, not the trucker themselves. But what they'll do is they'll throw off all these rosy pictures. And I've talked to all these truck drivers that have gone bankrupt, absolutely bankrupt over it. And they'll say, it's $2,500 a week. You can make $10,000 a month, and your truck payment's going to be $1,000 a month. And they come up with these really minimum costs. And the problem is the truck driver doesn't know how to operate a spreadsheet. They don't know basic financial math, which is something you have to be financially literate. You need to be financially literate to run a good, successful business. It's non-negotiable. When you do that, as you start building a business, you will amplify your earnings, and what you put in your pocket, orders of magnitude 100 times, 1,000 times. It's just absolutely incredible. So with the owner-operated truckers, they end up having parts breakages. And that happened to my dad over and over again. He had an engine blow up in 98 or 99, $16,000. He had an engine blow up in 93-ish, $10,000. He had a radiator blow up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania in 1997, I think it was, $3,500. And my parents got into debt. Like, my dad wasn't making money. He was losing money every single year because the repairs just kept absolutely breaking him over and over and over. I see an interesting comment. Your husband has decided to side hustle retirement is selling cords of wood. You live on 9 heavily wooded acres. Thoughts on that? That's a fine business to get into, but you're going to realize that you are less in the wood chopping business and wood splitting business, and you're going to be very much in the business of sales. And sales is a wonderful business to be into. So a lot of your business is going to be spent on finding customers and locations to sell your wood. Because my car wash buddy, that's something he looked into, and that was the breaking point for him. He looked at all the machines that would shrink wrap the hardwood, and he looked at a really nice splitter that wouldn't break his back, one that you could just stick the large pieces in with a skid loader. And that was my question to him. I said, how many businesses have you got before you started this business that are going to take your wood? None, Brandon. Well, here the thing is, you're in the sales business. You're going to have to find companies and businesses that are interested in your wood for sale, and you need to have that conversation with them before you go heavy duty into this. Once again, like if you have, I'm on the screen. I see all these comments coming in. If you would like training and coaching, I know I've got a lot of really wonderful, really great in-depth questions here. I'm able to answer them much better on my coaching and mentorship program at investmentjoy.com as opposed to the stream of consciousness. I see Caleb Hood on here. Cool. But that's if you want the custom coaching, custom training and mentorship directly from me, check out investmentjoy.com. I have a question about outdoor water and ice vending machines. I think they're a great idea. I'm currently researching them. I'm talking to one of the number one ice operators in the United States, and we're trying to come up with a strategy for me to get a couple of them, like $25,000 to $35,000 for like a mid-level, decent level one. So that's something I'm looking at right now. I think it's an absolutely great idea, potentially. But the thing is, what you've really got to be careful is you've got to be super, super careful, guys, when looking at a business that you don't overspend on it. If you would watch my content, you would see stories of people that they absolutely rail on my content. You cannot make any money in a laundromat whatsoever. I spent $1.2 million on this laundromat and it destroyed my life. You spent $1.2 million on a laundromat, and we have this conversation, and we've done some of these on live streams and some of these on videos and all this different stuff. And I asked the people this question. So what did you get for $1.2 million? I got a location at a strip mall. Okay. How big of a location? 4,000 square feet. Oh, that's a small one. How many machines did you get? I got 40 machines. What kind were they? Oh, they were Wascomat 174s. 174s. Okay, so you spent $1.2 million on a laundromat with a bunch of machines that are as old as I am that aren't worth $300 a piece. Well, that's not what they told me. I'm like, well, you didn't complete any due diligence. Who did you consult with before you looked at this gigantic investment? Well, no one. And it's just one of those crazy things where you have to be super, super careful when you look at money, business, finance. You have to do due diligence. You have to do research. Oh, Rebecca said the same thing. Research. Yeah, I can just hear that, her saying that in my head. You have to be so careful about this stuff. I was approached by a company that sells a certain kind of vending machine. I don't want to blow them out. I don't want to blow them up. And they said, you need to promote our products. You need to promote our vending machine to your subscribers, Brandon. We will give you $2,500 for every machine you sell of us. And I was like, okay, that's cool. $2,500 to sell a vending machine? How much is a vending machine? Doesn't matter. We'll finance them. Okay, you're going to finance them to my subscribers. And we go over this conversation. The machines were $15,000 to $20,000 a piece, which, okay, those ice machines, which I think can be good deals, $25,000 to $35,000. Okay, that's maybe not a bad deal. I'd have to research it more. Excuse me. I have to go do some research some more on this. How much do they make? We've got operators making $5,000 a week with our vending machines. Okay, that's a lot of money for a $15,000 vending machine. And I ended up posting about this on one of my insider Discords. This is like a year ago. And we're having this conversation. And one of our Discord guys said, Brandon, is this XYZ company out of Indiana or somewhere like that, somewhere in the Midwest? I said, yeah, that is. How do you know it? He said, oh, they're scamming you. I'm like, really? They're scamming me? Because they actually have physical equipment here. And they said, Brandon, that vending machine has $1,500 worth of equipment and $13,000 worth of marketing behind it. The operator that's making $5,000 a month or a week, they only have one or two of those people, because this person on Discord had this whole conversation with them. They went out and they polled all these different operators, and they found that the actual operators were making only on average $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month. So you've got to do due diligence when it looks like something is an opportunity, but you just got to be so careful. I see I got a super chat. I give good advice, especially to that woodchopper friend. Thanks for the entertainment. I'm glad you find entertainment in my content. I really appreciate that. I see I've got a comment about pizza vending. That's something I need to look into more. I've seen some pizza vending machines. They end up really dirty really quick. But it's just one of those things I would need to do a lot more research. I don't want to give you a comment. I like the idea. Who doesn't love pizza? But it's one of those things I can't give you like a super quick, good answer right off the bat. Hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. Send me a message, and we'll go through it. You found Ali Zali starting a paint company in Ontario. Found a sales energy that can make me Google and Facebook ads. They charge me $600 a month for at least 9 clients. Should you go with them? Do it yourself. You should do it yourself. I do a lot of consultations. I do a lot on the past 2 weeks with our insiders group. I've done 6 calls. And it was 6 calls, and every single time I said, don't hire somebody else. You need to learn it yourself. You need to learn to do the advertising yourself. Because I can't tell you offhand how much that $600 is going to get you, but I do know that I have managed to build local marketing tools in my area of Southern Ohio that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars if some other agency charged for it. I bought a newspaper. Like I paid $6,000 to have my own newspaper build and to take over a competing brand for a newspaper company in Southern Ohio. I spent $6,000. My newspaper brand's probably worth $250,000 to $500,000. I mean, if Jeremy's on this stream, he might say otherwise, but I think that's how much it's worth. But I built a newspaper brand for just $6,000, $8,000, and that was 5 years ago at this point. If I did it today, I could probably have it done for $1,500 because I'm better today than I was 5 years ago. But it's like, to me, I would just rather build it myself, know how it works, than outsource it. To me, I want to build something and then outsource it, because then I know the ropes, I know generally how it works, I know the pitfalls, and I can kind of get this sense when somebody starts BSing me when they want my hard-earned money. So, all right.
Have you ever heard of the vending machine city in Japan?
In Japan, Rebecca is asking the vending machine city in Japan. Yes, I get that one like every single week. It looks super cool. Japan has so many cool vending machines. They kind of adopted the pre-1940s New York vending machine culture. We used to have a vending machine culture in New York where everything came out of a vending machine at one idea. So it's super cool. I see Nick Jocelyn asked a very important question. What's my opinion of multi-level marketing schemes? And my answer is I really don't like them. And I realize that there's a lot of companies are going to term themselves as direct sales companies. Learning sales is important. Everybody needs to know how to market themselves and how to market their products and how to market just everything. Learning sales is super important. I'm not totally convinced that a direct sales company or multi-level marketing is the way to go about it. That isn't to say that every single multi-level marketing company or direct sales company is a bad thing. There's a few good ones. I won't say which ones they are. I don't want to step on any toes, but there's a few good ones. But I would rather just start my own business, own my own products, and then I would rather be in charge of that whole thing. You've got to be very careful. To me, if you're paying like my big red flag is, someone's wanting me to start a business and they need me to buy a license. I'm not going to buy a license. Obviously, I sell coaching, I sell training, and I sell mentorship. But when I sell somebody my package, my training, it's like, oh, we're going to we're going to have phone calls together. Okay. I'm going to give you templates and documents. I'm going to give you due diligence forms. We're going to actually walk you through how to do my spreadsheets on how do we assess whether, what's the really one? How do we assess whether an air compressor works or not? So those are things that I charge for. But it's like I ran into this one product that someone was selling. Sounded like a great product, but when we actually looked at what you were buying a website to sell other people products. That's not too good of a strategy. Hopefully that makes sense, but that's kind of like a real quick rundown on MLMs. So someone's asking how much a laundromat is. Do you pay for it? Do you get it for free? I negotiate all my deals. It's what I do training and coaching on. With regards to laundromats, car washes, real estate, I always try to structure them in a way where I can buy them with no money out of pocket. That doesn't mean that I do it on every single deal, but I have zero money whatsoever in my laundromat for the acquisition and initial rehab on it. I did pay a little under $3,000 when we gutted it and redid it. That's in one of my videos. I did pay a little bit of money down on my car wash. Anymore, I haven't spent hardly any money out of pocket on my 130 some rentals. I just use other people's money. I do deal cascades. I structure deals so I don't pay any money. It's easier. There's so much money out there to get for businesses, and that's what I do. So someone asked about car wash franchises. I don't know. I just don't deal with car wash franchises at all. So I really can't give you much discernment on them. To me, I'd rather build my own car wash brand. To me, it was for us, our company, our car wash business, Wash Ohio. It's been so easy to develop our own branding and our own logos and stuff rather than rely on somebody else. And as of my understanding, there's not a single self-serve car wash brand or franchise out there, and there's not a single automatic in-bay automatic franchise out there. There's tunnels, but you need to have $3 to $5 million to do that. So. That's very, very expensive. Yeah, I see a comment about dog walking. I've done videos on dog walking. I love dog walking. Car Wash Channel says they love me. I do appreciate you. I love you too, I'm sure, in some way.
What kind of returns are these investors getting?
That's something I don't really talk about publicly, just because I would hate for one of my investors to hear me quote rates, because when I started off, I offered really high returns. And as time goes on, I just keep dropping my returns down for different investors because I've built up rapport with them and they trust me, generally speaking. And I would hate to go on a live stream and say, oh, I pay out XYZ percentage. And then one of my other investors say, you said on a live stream on August the 11th that you pay your investors XYZ, and here you only pay me. Gosh, I will say this. I've got one guy I pay 3% to. He's probably not watching this, but I've got one guy I pay 3% to, and it's a lot of money. And it's just this insane deal. So it's all over the place. I pay investors as little as they're willing to accept, but as much as I'm willing to offer to take the deal down. I know that's a bunch of weasel words and stuff, but kind of funny. So any other questions?
So Dylan Main says, I have a call scheduled tomorrow with your team. So
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Very cool. You got a call scheduled with the Investment Joy team. Cool. That's very good. So we've got 5 comments or 6 comments stacked up on Facebook right now. If you need to talk to somebody on my team, and they'll kind of go through the whole rigmarole of what I offer for coaching and training and lessons and coursework and mentorship. We got this whole package called Ultimate Joy. Just go on investmentjoy.com. Click the orange button. It'll take you through some steps. We got this really cool thing where one of the guys on my team, they actually made a demographic tool. And you go to page number 5, and it asks for your zip code, and it asks what you like. It asks you to click a button for vending machines, car washes, laundromats. And what it does is it pulls the demographic data in your area, and it comes up with a per capita value of how much those businesses make within. I think it's just in your zip code. I don't think they drill it down by where you live, but they check on your zip code, and they figure out how much a car wash on average earns in your location. So you can, it's just really cool tool. I didn't realize they made it for me, but I had all these questions asking for, Brandon, how much did your car wash make last week? I'm like, oh man, I had to pull up sales reports on my phone while I was talking to somebody on the team. Like, Brandon, how much did that Coke machine make out in front of your laundromat? It's like, last week it made $651. Brandon, how much did this make? Like, what are you guys doing? Well, I need how else can we call to get some demographics, Brandon? I gave them the number for all these laundromat owners, car wash operators. I gave them numbers. I gave them some contact for vending machine guys, and they built this demographic tool based on me and my friends and some market standards for these businesses. So if you want to kind of do one of those demographic tools and get it figured out, you can go to investmentdread.com. Oculus Maniac asked me for more car wash videos. We can do that. That would be cool. Rebecca says, if I need a branding expert, it's her. Yeah, see, we need to do a collab, Rebecca. I need to go to wherever you are in Ohio, and we need to come up with some branding stuff. It could be a fun deal. I'm doing a big collab with a guy worth $250 million, and it's not Ben Mala. Is it next week? Yeah, it's next week. I'm doing a collab with a guy. He's got a limo. He is going to pick me up in. We're taking all this, I think we're taking some of this podcast equipment with me, and we're going to do a video together. Curly G Cradle Rock, from how long to getting delicious quarters will it take to get things going, all things considered? So I got a guy I guess I'll say he's in Michigan. He's one of my mentees. Is that a word? I'd like to use that word because it sounds like mint, like minting money. One of my mentees. He's in Michigan. I can't say where. He started doing my coaching and training 6 weeks ago, and at 5:30 today, he is meeting the current owner of quite a few car washes, and it sounds like he's going to get the deal done. That doesn't mean he's going to start making the big money on the quarters, but I think he's going to do the deal. And if he does the deal, I'm going to pack up and I'm going to drive me and Noah and the crew to Michigan to go look at these car washes he's buying. So, I'm under the guys that they get in, they get training, they get educated, they get like real passionate about starting a business. And my gosh, I did another consulting call with a guy. He was kind of not having it. He wasn't having a good time. And he's like, I can't do this vending machine, Brandon. You're full of crap. And he's angry at me. Nice guy. No offense. I'm not going to say where he lives because I don't want to tone him down. And I said, bud, let me do something. Let's share my screen. We did a Zoom or a Google Meet or whatever. I did a screen share and I said, buddy, and I've got this cool writing tablet that I can use on some, you can't even see. Oh yeah, you can. I have this cool writing tablet thingy-majig, and I can write things on my screen on Google Meet. And I said, here's what we need to do. And I typed some stuff out and I said, here's 3 vending machines for $650. You need to get your truck and you go buy these. Because he was angry at me because I told him that he could get into vending for $2,000, $3,000. And he got mad at me because he was going to spend $20,000 on vending machines from Sam's Clubs, which I rule number 1, don't buy. I hate vending machines off Sam's Club. So he's getting mad at me. He thought he was going to buy $15,000 to $20,000 worth of vending machines. He got in his truck after the coaching call. After I talked to him, he got in his truck. He bought those machines, brought them back, and he's like, Brandon, that was almost $4,000 worth of vending machines I picked up because of your phone call. Cool, yeah. So it's like I run into these guys, and they like are on fire, and they're doing super well. And I run into other people. They could sit down with, I don't know, Elon Musk, the world's richest, the richest man in the world, the smartest man in the world, the most motivating man in the world, and they won't do anything for 20 years. It's really sad. I've got guys that are in their mid 60s, and every so often they'll comment on one of my videos and they'll say, Brandon, this doesn't work. I've been trying for 30 years or 40 years to do what you're doing, and it doesn't work. And I start asking questions. I'm like, okay, how much do you know about financial literacy? Okay, nothing. Do you invest any money in the stock market? Well, no, not really. Do you go and hunt for business owners? How are you looking for opportunities? I have these conversations with people asking, how are they looking for businesses to start? And you find out really quickly they haven't actually done anything. They haven't picked up the phone call. I run into so many people that think that all of these opportunities fall in your lap, that there's no work in it. And it's like, if you're wanting to get something with no money out of your pocket and get something started, you got to invest your time. You've got to spend some time. You're going to have to probably stop watching Netflix. You're going to have to stop watching TV, guys, and going to the movies every weekend. That's kind of the unfortunate reality. I don't know how to do it any other way. You need to get out there and hustle and start making phone calls. You need to start talking to people that are business owners and start networking. It's kind of how things work. So, got a comment. You're just getting started with ice vending. You thought about with your car wash. Yeah, I want to do ice vending. Side hustles for many years. Your first side hustle in SFA, you fix sprinkler heads on spare time after work. You always try to cool digging tools with your gloves. That sounds cool. You said you fix sprinkler heads. I've got a guy that's I don't know, maybe he's not a multimillionaire, but he is a sprinkler wizard. And he said he made a really great case one day to me that being in the sprinkler industry is the best thing in the world. A very passionate man in his mid-40s about sprinklers. And I was looking at he did the sprinkler system for a coffee shop, and I'm looking at this system, and I'm like, this is a really cool sprinkler system. You looks like you used gas pipe, and it looks like those are just standard ceiling hangers. He said, Brandon, this is a $25,000 sprinkler system. I have $1,000 of parts sitting here. Like, oh my gosh, you charge $24,000 to install a sprinkler system. No wonder you think that the sprinkler industry is the best thing ever. I don't know much about the sprinkler industry, but he acted like he was the greatest thing ever. It was like the greatest thing ever. After hearing that conversation with him, it sure sounded like. Thoughts on furniture flips? Absolutely, Rebecca. I was the end recipient on Tuesday for somebody's Hoosier cabinet flip. My wife wanted one, and I got one. So I have a person ask about side hustles. Just rewatch the stream. Went over a couple ideas that are my top picks with small engine repair, flipping items, doing remote flipping. We talked about Noah's story about him getting me a side-by-side for cheap. Sugma barbecue vending machines. I'd have to take a look. I don't know. All right, we're going to have to kind of start wrapping this up because we're at 4:57. Once again, Jonathan Poland asks me the question because I will answer this. When am I going to buy a casino? I don't know. Maybe I should start one. I don't know. I thought about starting a child casino and calling it Chuck E. Cheese because that's kind of what they do. So if you guys have questions, you can send me a message. Otherwise, I really would encourage you to talk to somebody on my team at investmentjoy.com. They'll kind of give you the rundown on what we've got with coaching, training. After I jump off of this stream, I'm going immediately into a coaching call with my mentees, and we're going to go over the $1.1 million business deal that I've negotiated down to the 300K-ish, and then we're going to talk about a couple other business strategies they want me to go over. So I appreciate everybody that has made a comment on here. Thanks for liking the videos and supporting my content. Gosh, we could do this stream all day. We've had like 400 or 500 concurrence on the stream. We've done really, really well. So I appreciate it. My DMs are open on Instagram. My DMs are open up on Facebook. We got some people coming on board to help me handle those messages because I get a couple hundred a day sometimes. But I try to answer all of them. But I can't encourage you enough to go check out investmentjoy.com because that's probably the easiest way to get in touch with me and to have someone run down training with you and kind of how we're doing coaching and training on these laundromats and car washes and vending machines and everything like that. So, all right, guys, I got to go, and we're going to make an insider call, and we're going to go over this crazy deal that I engineered today. So, Investment Joy, I'll send it in the chat on both streams. Someone spent $6,900 on a vending machine, they said. Absolutely not. You watch one of my most recent videos, you'll see the $7,500 machine I got for $1,600. Yeah, I'm not big on someone says they can watch my streams every single day. Cool. I appreciate it so much. All right, we're going to end the stream as soon as Noah clicks the button to end the stream. I appreciate on OBS. So I appreciate every single one of you. I hope you have a great day. I hope every one of you makes a lot of